Hey everyone, Adam Shar here from Bravuro Media Company. Today I've got another vintage map for you guys. It is a map of Paterson, New Jersey that was originally produced in 1880. As you can see, it is a bird's eye perspective map in that we can see changes in landscape, we can see building architecture, we can see vegetation, we get to see people, we get to see horse and buggies, railroad cars. We get to see the city of Paterson, New Jersey in a three-dimensional perspective, and we get to travel back in time to 1880. We're going to explore this map, but first I want to give you a brief history of Paterson, New Jersey. We're going to use that information and kind of compare and contrast what the city looked like back in 1880. So now to give a brief background into Paterson, New Jersey, the city was first, or you could say the landscape was first inhabited by Algonquin-speaking Indians of the Aquaconic tribe. I hope I pronounced that right. They were also known as the Delaware Indians. The city itself was named after William Paterson, who was a New Jersey governor back in the late 1700s. He chartered the town of Paterson, New Jersey in 1792, but it wasn't called Paterson. It was actually named after that Indian tribe, Aquaconic Township. But it later became officially Paterson, named after William Paterson, who chartered it, and it was named in 1831. Paterson was a huge staple in the American Industrial Revolution, namely because of the Passaic River. There was a falls around the town of Paterson, and it could generate. They used the water as a means to create mills and to create manufacturing around it, and it just really blossomed from that river and from the inflow of immigrants, namely from Naples. A gross amount of immigrants coming from Naples, and Italian immigrants really helped fuel this really ultimately the bedrock of industrialization in America. Not really the bedrock, but definitely a contributing factor. And the industries ranged from textiles, firearms, silk, railroad, locomotive parts, a very broad range of industries. But Paterson actually got the nickname Silk City because silk became a huge manufacturing presence in the city itself. So that being that background that we just shared with you, let's dive right in. We're going to kind of zoom in and explore and examine this old map. So right away we got the 3D perspective of Paterson. Pretty cool. If we go down, we have kind of a street level perspective of these different industries. We've got a silk mill. Remember when we talked about Silk City? Here's a silk mill. Here's a brewery. I didn't talk about a brewery in my kind of synopsis, but Eagle Ale and Porter Brewery. Hey, my last name. Pretty cool. We've got Passaic Rolling Mills. Very interesting. Another silk mill, Hamlin and Booth. We've got a locomotive. Remember we talked about the railroad car locomotive? And if you look off in the background, you see this. This is the river. This is the Passaic River right here. So the utilization of that cold water, I'm sure, helped cool down machine parts, and pretty cool. And we've got here's another silk mill right there. Another brewery. Very cool. Here's the Passaic Falls. We can see some buildings off in the background. I'm sure they're mills. This spinning company. This looks like a weaving and something to do with silk. Got different mills. So, yeah, more silk mills right here. So, we get a perspective of how big Paterson was back in 1880. We can see, very surprising to me right off the bat, is we see this railroad right here in front of the city, and it's running along the Passaic right here. And I guess we've got a coal area right here, and we've got. What's interesting about this is we see industries farther down. We can see part of the Passaic right here, and we see it. You know, a lot of these industries probably bordering the riverbed right here. But a lot of railroads. This is kind of weird. Railroads would run along these industries to pick up goods and transport them elsewhere, and I find that kind of interesting that the railroad is so far away from those industries and the river. Usually they run parallel to each other. That's interesting to me. We can see another actually, okay, we see another railroad back off the distance. See this right here? And we see a lot of mills going through here, some major ones right here. I'm sure it loops around. I'm sure it loops around right over here. I don't know if we can see that all the way back there. We've got a railroad car right here. Maybe not. I don't see anything over here, and it looks like that railroad's connecting over here. So, pretty interesting there's no railroad presence right over here. I find that very interesting. I like the 3D perspectives on the horse and buggies. You really get kind of that live presence, that real life. You know, maps are very 2D and you know, this adds kind of a visceral presence to viewing Paterson back in 1880. You know, you really can get a feel for what it was like and what it looked like and the action that was going on and the hustle and bustle. You can't get that with overhead 2D maps. Bird's eye perspective maps really lend to that kind of that visceral imagination of the city. So. Got a guy. It looks like two horses are pulling this boat right along. Very interesting. I've never seen that up close on a lot of these bird's eye perspective maps. So that's the map we have for you. I just kind of wanted to share it with you and kind of go over the industries and give you a background history into Paterson, New Jersey. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to us. We do videos like these all the time where we investigate old maps and we look at history. History of New Jersey, and maps from New Jersey, from different cities throughout the entire United States, cities throughout the world, old world maps. We cover a lot of maps as well as history. So if you like that sort of thing, definitely subscribe to us, like this video, share this video, leave a comment below if you have any questions, and I will see you guys soon. Okay, take care. All right, bye.